Good evening, everyone. This is Mahesh. Today I'll be presenting on a topic, Sustainably Fracked. It's basically E&P companies' efforts to differentiate their products from others. The United States has vast reserves of unconventional oil and natural gas, which play a vital role in energy future. The methane emission problem has grown in prominence with the growth in natural gas production through hydraulic fracking, in short also known as fracking. The United States is now able to extract oil and gas economically due to advancement in technologies. Currently, natural gas is the top fuel used in production of electricity in the United States. As per the United States Energy Information Administration, the E&P corporations have sold natural gas as a cleaner power source since it emits less than 50% of CO2 compared to coal. Nevertheless, the reputation is being hampered by the growing concerns about methane leaks. So now let's talk about greenhouse gases. Methane and CO2 are important greenhouse gases. However, they play a unique role in climate change. The climate reacts relatively slow to the change in CO2 emissions. CO2 discharged today will impact the atmosphere for centuries to come. In contrast, the climate reacts rapidly to methane emission changes. Environmental Defense Fund (EDF) stated that methane emissions are accountable for about 25% of the global warming. When compared to CO2, methane has 80 times stronger potential to trap heat. Reducing methane now can provide an instant way to slow global warming and meet the United Nations target of keeping the planet well below a 2 degrees Celsius average rise. With a carbon intensity at around 34 times that of a CO2, the release of methane into atmosphere is of a rising concern to investors. A little background about methane emissions. This is an image from Environmental Protection Agency, also known as EPA. It's about the methane emissions in the United States for the year 2017. As you can see, in 2017, 43% of the US methane emissions were from energy industry. This recent increase in methane is massive. It's globally significant. It contributed to some of the increase in global warmings we have seen, and shale gas is a major player. If we can stop methane leaks into the atmosphere, it'll disappear. Methane goes away quickly compared to carbon dioxide. It's the low-hanging fruit to slow the global warming. The United States General Accounting Office, in short GAO, report on shale development. According to several studies and publications GAO reviewed, shale oil and gas development poses risks to air quality, and it mentioned 4 reasons for it. Number 1, engine exhaust from increased truck traffic. Number 2, emission from diesel-powered pumps used to power equipment. And number 3, gas that is flayed or vented for operational reasons. Number 4, unintentional emission of pollutants from the faulty equipment or from the storage areas. So now let's talk about how and why the companies are labeling their product as sustainably fracked. Various organizations behind the US shale rush want their customers to understand that their natural gas was sustainably fracked. E&P producers are increasing efforts to decrease methane emissions, toxic wastewater, and other natural effects associated with unconventional drilling, amid mounting investor pressure over environmental change. Companies are looking to liquidate these ventures by showcasing their natural gas as a clean and non-renewable source similar to organic vegetables. For example, Southwestern Energy and BP label their products as sustainably fracked. Now let's talk about the measures taken by upstream companies. Major oil producers like Exxon, Chevron, BP, and Shell have suffered investors condemning their approach towards methane. Between 2015 and 2018, around 40 methane investors' intentions have been proposed on energy firms to expand their methane administration. While ExxonMobil is investing in low-emission innovations in Permian Basin, Exxon declared the investment up to $100 million over the period of 10 years in R&D for cutting-edge technology to lower the methane emissions, whereas Chevron made $1 billion investment in carbon capture to reduce greenhouse gases emissions by 5 mmmt per year and reduce methane emissions and flaring between 25 to 30% compared to 2016. BP deployed air surveillance using drones with advanced cameras with hyperspectral technology to detect gas cloud leaks and plans to use drones equipped with advanced lasers and methane sniffing abilities. And in July 2020, Shell signed an agreement with Avitas to extend drone usage to heighten its current methane leak detection and repair initiative. And now let's talk about the midstream companies. Midstream companies are under pressure along with upstream companies and have come together to reduce methane leaks. Williams, a major midstream company, pledged to reduce 56% of the greenhouse gas emissions by 2030, keeping itself on a right trajectory towards its goal of net zero emissions by 2050. DCP Midstream started using Kairos technology in March 2019, and this year, July 6th, DCP Midstream and Kairos Aerospace published a significant new greenhouse gas management action over the entire DCP portfolio. Enbridge Inc. joined One Future. One stands for Our Nation Energy, a coalition with 27 member businesses with its focus to manage and reduce its greenhouse gas emissions and to create a long-term value for its stakeholders. Why do E&P producers need to control methane leaks? There can be numerous other benefits to E&P producers by keeping a check on methane emissions and make progress towards the reduction in its leaks. Christopher McGlade from IEA stated that methane leaks from E&P industry can be reduced by 50% at no net cost. And a lot of studies have linked methane to global warming, and they have also suggested that stopping methane leaks leads to increased revenue to E&P producers. While some E&P producers are seeking green label by regulating the methane emissions associated with natural gas production, few environmental societies argue that green marketing is not enough. Instead, are advocating for strict regulations for sustainably fracked gas in order to have set standard that can be followed by the oil and gas industry. And to conclude the topic, I would say by controlling the methane emissions, E&P producers have excellent prospect for their efforts because they will comply with EPA and other governmental regulations. By seizing the potential gas leak, E&P producers can recoup their lost revenues. Using the captured gas, and E&P producers can increase their savings. Companies will seem attractive to investors, and many environmental agencies will offer to fund further investments needed to address methane leaks. Enormous environmental impact by reducing greenhouse gases can be achieved. With former Vice President Joe Biden's victory, it is safe to assume that federal policies related to climate change will be at the forefront. With increased awareness in end users regarding greenhouse gas emissions, most companies are forced to act on methane emissions. Thank you for your time, and these are my references, and I would like to thank Dr. Stamba for letting me use his computer to get some amazing articles. Thank you.